to the Be Better podcast with Infinity Real Estate Services. True stories from Bakersfield's business owners and entrepreneurs. We have sold over 50,000 homes in the Kern County area, and we are still going. Delete your limiting beliefs. If you have a dream, turn it into a goal. Only massive, inspired action will get you to where you want to be. If you're starting a business or looking to grow one, you're in the right spot. Welcome to the Be Better experience.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. What's up, guys? It's Lee Barrison here with Infinity Real Estate Services and the Be Better podcast. And I just want to thank everybody out there for joining or plugging into our podcast. Our podcast is designed for folks out there that want to get better and be better in multiple areas of their life, such as health, spiritual, entrepreneurship, business, whatever it may be, better spouse sometimes. You know, these are all things that we got to talk about, how to be better. And so I just want to thank everybody out there for joining our podcast and supporting us. We don't do this for money. We don't do this to get rich, right? But we just do this because I think it's important that with all the negativity in this world, that we talk about the better things in life. And so today I have a special guest on our show. He's a local mentor for children here in the Bakersfield area. He's also a pastor of a small church. I would like to introduce the one and only Carrington Prichett.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. One correction. I am not a pastor.
Okay.
I am a minister, but not a pastor.
Okay, got it. There's a difference, I guess.
Yeah, not a lead pastor at least. No.
Yeah. Okay, well, I've been to your house and you've led a service or two, so you resembled one, I guess.
Thank you. I get that a lot, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome, and it's great to have you on. I mean, this is our second go around. Last week when we tried to shoot this podcast, the power went out.
Yeah.
Right?
We won't blame. We won't name names.
No finger pointing around here. But I'm glad that we were able to make the time today to do this. So that's going to be special. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Carrington, who are you? Where are you originally from Bakersfield? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. I am originally from Bakersfield, born and raised here in a two-parent household, raising in the church, lineage of pastors in my family. So church is my life, has always been my life. My goal and passion and drive is to see people reset, to realign, to refocus, and which is why I love this podcast entitled Be Better, is to better yourself, give yourself another chance. Stop replaying what God has already redeemed. And so like the re in that and all of those is to just start again. Don't be afraid. One of my favorite verses of the Bible is God did not come to condemn the world, but to save us. And so I think in that we have to understand is giving yourself another chance, starting over again. Might has to happen 1,000 times, but that 1,001 is where you might really see that reset to be better. And so that is my passion.
I love it, Carrington. So, yeah, it sounds to me like, because I have a lot more respect for people that didn't start off in life on third base and just, making a run for the home plate. I've got a lot more respect for people that either didn't quite make the team or they sat on a bench and they put the work in and they had that desire to be better and finally got on the team and then made it around all four bases. And so tell us a little bit about what you do. I know that you're a mentor for Garden Pathways, and I think you specialize with the youth.
Yes. So I am a youth mentor specialist. I work with the high schools in Arvin, East, West, and Miramonte. And I've just started in Lamont at a middle school. So working with youth has always been my passion. I youth leader, and so I originally started at the Marriott. That was my first job, being a concierge server there. And I love being around people. Hospitality is my forte, I believe, growing up in a family where very hospitable people. And so working in that industry, it was my passion, just meeting new people and being hospitable again. But then after a while, I felt like I wasn't fulfilling anything. After clocking out, I felt like I wasn't making a change.
An impact.
An impact. Maybe I was making an impact, just their room wasn't the best, so I tried my best to put a smile on their face. That's still an impact, but wasn't really something that I felt like I did something right. I made somebody's day better, or whatever it might look like. But then around the pandemic time, COVID-19, a friend of mine who works or used to work at Garden Pathways, he'd been there probably 16 years. And he and I went out for coffee, and he told me about an open position at Garden Pathways, which was the youth mentor position. And he told me, he wasn't aware that I was looking for another job, didn't even know I was in this predicament of like feeling like I was burnt out at this current job. And so he said, apply, you'll be great. You have the goal, you have the passion, you grew up in church, you have that heart for this. And I told him, you don't even know that I was looking for another job like this, aligned this way. And to make a long story short, I've been there this past November for 4 years. And it's been amazing. It can be hard working in this field, working with this population, but it does feel like I am making an impact. And our mission statement is to transform lives from the inside out. And I see that every day is that one seed that I'm planting and seeing that transformation.
From inside out.
From inside out.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great way of great mantra.
Absolutely.
So, I guess working with the youth, I mean, you're talking about the people that are going to be running our country. You're talking about the people in the future that are going to make decisions, whether they be good or bad. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think it's super important, to really focus on, of course, adults need mentorship too. But I think a lot of kids seek mentorship in different arenas versus probably not the best arenas in some cases, right? Mm-hmm. And so by speaking with somebody like yourself, where you have an ear mm-hmm. to listen to them, mm-hmm. number one, but then secondly, you have the ability to give them some positive guidance on how to transform themselves or how to take their next step to be better.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm sure some of the kids that you work with aren't in the greatest environments. Right. And so it's got to be a tough job.
Oh,
and some of the things that you hear, got to be tough.
Yes. Yeah. Excuse me. It requires a lot of prayer. That's my first mm-hmm. thing. And before going into the office is to pray. The Bible says to put on the whole armor of God, and working in this field, it requires your mind to be shielded with the word for whatever you expect when you're going into the group. You don't know what story you might hear. You don't know what the student might have encountered that morning. You don't know what they encountered last night, the night prior. So it's always important to let the Lord lead you in this type of field, whether that be in therapy or anything that has to do with therapeutic services. And we're not therapists, but I'm just saying in this type of field, mm-hmm. having that wisdom to know how to be a listening ear, as you said, and to know what to say and how to say it, and make sure your words are seasoned with salt to make sure that you're not causing them to feel judged, but to feel like they're being heard. They have that person that they can go to and not feel like that chastisement or that condemnation.
Wow. So, yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of that out there that you see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that, kids, the youth, especially, high school students, they're going through so much, mm-hmm. Not only personally, but they're also thinking about careers, and they might have personal issues at home, and they also have, they don't want to talk to mom or dad about things, right? They might be coming from broken homes or whatever. And so you're basically like that neutral third party to these mm-hmm. to these young kids, mm-hmm. and being able to allow them to get whatever's off their chest to you. Absolutely. And then you give them that great guidance, leaded by faith. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that it's working out,
Yeah. Some of the students that started with us, weren't even talking about God. It's me and a co-facilitator that we go in, and she's also a Christian, a believer, and we don't we talk about the Lord, but it's not to where like that's all it is. But our actions speak louder than our words, and they see the heart of God through our actions. And some of the students that didn't start out talking about God, didn't start out talking about church or even having that drive, now they're asking about church. Now they're wanting to go to church. It's not because of just our words, but it's showing the heart of God, the love of God through what we do. We go out of our way that and make sure that their needs are met, to make sure that they're getting a food box, they're getting clothing, they're getting sheltered, making sure that they're getting their license. If their parents cannot do that, we're making sure that we can lift a load or be that conduit. So all of what we do is all based upon God's love, and that's what they see, and that's what we want them to see. And it's incredible to see how we're with them for 4 years, but they come in their senior year or their junior year. But how long they're with us, they still see God in all of that short period of time, and that's amazing to undertake.
Yeah. And the transformations probably it makes you feel very special too. Taking from maybe a child that's been abused, or maybe a child that's just isn't in a good space. Mm-hmm. And then by the time they either graduate or, get seasoned in your line of work, then you see a transformation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always tell them that, the biggest struggle right now is social media. And I tell them that the piece that you're longing for is on the other side of your pause. And that's what I try to emphasize, is to pause. Don't try to rush through these 4 years. Don't try to rush through life. Sometimes you have to pause social media because that's their biggest demon, so to speak, is social media, because they're comparing. And I can agree with that. I have that situation, that problem too. But again, the piece that they're longing for has to be in sitting down and saying, what do I need to realign with? How can I be better? Yeah. Is it social media? Is it this partner that I'm with? Is it something at my house that's making me feel like I cannot get to the next level? So all of that is a part of your pause. And a lot of them, they do realize that social media is a not the greatest tool. And I'm glad that that is starting to become a realization for many of them. To understand that you have to have a healthy balance with what you allow into your ear gates, into your eyes, and making sure that it's all filtered through positivity.
Love it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, social media, I think, it has its benefits, right? But it has a lot of negative impact on, especially the youth. I mean, they're, like you said, they're always comparing themselves to other kids, or they're in some of the, I mean, some of the things that they are exposed to on social media are ridiculous, and it's almost as if social media is a drug to some people, to where they consistently have to scroll and scroll and scroll. And then and it's like, what are you looking for? If you're looking for entertainment, watch a basketball game. If you're looking for entertainment, go hang out with your friends. Yeah. I mean, you're only 27 years old, right? Yes. You're still young, but you're an old soul, right?
Oh yeah. I've heard that many times.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. I can feel it.
Yeah, and then that's also again, growing up in church, I was surrounded by elders, and we called the elderly women mothers of the church. And being surrounded by people that invested into my life, into all of the other young ones at the church, wisdom on how to get through life. And you look back and you recollect what our grandmothers told us or grandfathers told us, and now you put it into use and you're telling your mentees or your students those same values and that wisdom, and now they're putting it to use and seeing a difference in their life. And so, yeah, having an old soul can be a good and bad, but I attribute that because not many have been blessed to have a community like that where they can go and get wisdom from those who went through something similar and how they got through it, and all of their answers were through prayer.
Yeah.
That's all what it boils down to was prayer. And that's what I want my students and anyone who come in contact with me is to understand the power of prayer.
Yeah, and it's something that sometimes people just don't even think about. They don't lean on because they've never been taught the power of prayer, or they don't see the importance of it when they can go to find their answers on TikTok. Or they can, or from maybe perhaps their own peers that might not give them the best advice. But, prayer does work. It does. But you have to be invested in it. Yeah. And you can't expect immediate results. But ultimately, if you keep God first at all times, eventually something good is going to come out of that. There's no horror, bad stories of he prayed so much something went sideways in his life. You know what I mean? That prayer keeps you grounded. And I know my prayer life. It also I know that I'm talking to somebody who died for my sins, and this person is sacrificial, and all I got to do is trust in him.
Yes.
And which is really hard to do sometimes. Because as men especially, we want to create immediate results and solve the problem right then and there. But solving the problem by prayer, I think, is really important. I know for me personally, because I run a business and I've got a lot of things in my life going on. But ultimately, when there's something that I feel that I cannot control and it's bothering me, then I have a quick prayer about it, and it's basically God, and I go, it's all yours.
Yeah, I love that.
You can have it.
Yes.
And I don't want to deal with it, and it releases anxiety.
Yes.
And stress, and then that also allows me to move forward. In other areas of my life,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's switch gears for a minute.
All right.
Because you have a book that you wrote.
Yes.
And so tell us about the book, the name of the book, and what it's about.
Yeah, so it's entitled The Sunday Reset. I released it on my birthday of last year, June 30th. I call it my baby. I released it because my coworkers, they always... I don't want to say pick on me, but just always ask, like, how do you come into work so feel free spirited? No, there's nothing on your shoulders, so to speak. There's nothing really bothering you. How do you come in without that stress? And I always would tell them that it was through on Sunday I meal prep, get my clothes for the entire week prepped, scheduled for the entire week. And when I'm coming in Monday, I'm all set. And I would get so many questions about that to where I'm like, okay, I have to make this into a playbook or into a journal or something. And the Lord woke me up and just gave me the Sunday reset. And I just saw the pages, what it would look like, the cover and everything. And I don't really want it to be called a book, more so just a reset journal, where you are seeing my steps and how you can make it into your own steps, and you can change it up however you like. But it's all based on how you can not only just a daily schedule, but how you can reset spiritually, resetting financially, resetting emotionally. And all of that is impacted on how we go out through our week. What is our week looking like? What is the week giving to us? What are we investing into our week to make it better, to make it where we can feel like I got through it organically, not feeling like it's all fake. It's not something where I'm just have to do it, but it's like I want to do it. And just the fact of having just your whole your outfits ready is a blessing within itself. So I've released it. It's gone out of the States. It's been purchased by people on Amazon and through me, and also I have an ebook version of it too. But it's been a blessing to people, and I just love it. Just the reviews I'm still getting to this day has been impactful and makes me look forward to my next project.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you've written a book on a Sunday reset, and it's funny that you mentioned something about getting your clothes ready. Sundays are let me back up. Mondays are my favorite day of the week.
Okay. Yeah. And
that's where I feel like the week is going to start fresh, and it's kind of a reset to me too. Mm-hmm. I clean and fold all my clothes on Sundays. Mm-hmm. I make sure the house is nice and clean on Sunday. I do get my outfits ready for the week, because I don't have to worry about deciding what I'm going to wear.
Right.
It's all laid out.
Right.
And then Sundays as well are the days where my kids and I try to just relax and not pay bills, not stress about work,
right.
I mean, there's a whole week ahead of us for that. Mm-hmm. And so that's really great. The Sunday reset, guys. So if you haven't got, looked into it, maybe take a peek at it and look at the pretense of the book. And if it's something out there that you might be interested in getting, you can find it on Amazon, you mentioned?
Yes, Amazon. Okay. Or you can purchase through myself, or you can download the ebook version.
Okay, cool. Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, with that being said, I really do appreciate you coming on. It's always great to have positive vibes on our show, and I just want you to continue at 27 years old.
Thank you.
You're doing a lot. And so I'm excited to see what happens when you're 37 and when you're 47.
Thank you.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see you grow. So, so with that being said, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, why don't you give them a cell phone number or maybe an email address?
Yeah. So my Instagram is currently right now it is deactivated. I'm on a social media.
That's
detox.
right. Hold on, guys. Yeah. Last week we talked about this, and I love this idea. And I need to put this into practice for myself, but having a blackout each or every other month. Mm-hmm. So you shut your social media down bi-monthly, and I just love that idea.
Yeah. Again, resetting.
Yes.
And your peace is on the other side of your pause. So this is my pause era right now. And this one feels a little different, being that it's the holidays and I need to pause just to be with family more intentionally. But this one might not even it spill over into February for how I needed this detox desperately. So it's important. If you're looking for resetting, that's your first step, is to get off social media if it's not providing any substance or value.
Okay, good. Yeah. So let's get back to how people get a hold of you, though. So you mentioned Instagram,
Carrington Prichett, Carrington, Prichett, and my coaching page, my health page, Coach C. Blake. And then my phone number, I have no problem, 661-546-0275.
Very good. Very good. So with that being said, guys, it's a wrap. I think another successful episode of the Be Better podcast. If this impacted your life, or if you feel it would impact somebody else's life, feel free to share this. We're on YouTube, or you can find us on Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts.
Prophesied something.
Yeah. Anyways, I hope everybody out there has an amazing week ahead of yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon.